Hi. Welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart centered solutions for your everyday life. I'm Alicia Hartzell, and today we are going to talk about building a healthier relationship with your body. Now, there's a lot of different ways we could look at this topic. Um, and because I am a firm believer, obviously, that's what I do, in creating a heart centered solution, a place from that inner alignment within yourself, we are going to look at building a healthy relationship with your body from that place as it corresponds with your choices that you have the power to make, right? So, we are in a relationship with ourselves, and it's the longest relationship we're ever going to be in, right? So, if you think about that and you think about all the different dynamics, right, that come with that relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with your physical body, it's a big part of that, right? It's a big part of how you process your life. And today, that's where we're going to focus. So, as always, I am working off notes from the blog at awakeningtoyourstory.com that will go live after this video. And if you want more information, I go more in depth there. And it's all there to kind of serve you. There's pretty pictures that I made and lots of personal stories, which I'm going to talk about today, but there's more in depth stuff going on over on the blog. So I will link that into the comments and you can head over there for more information. Okay, so now, how often do you notice yourself creating a negative language around your body? When I was getting ready to do this video, I was kind of going back through um, other video topics that we had gone through in different seasons, trying to figure out what I was going to do for lives. And this relationship you have with your body was one that really resonated with people. So I decided to add in a whole bunch more real personal experiences in the live because I am happy to be an open book if it helps people illustrate what a heart centered solution can be. So, we're going to talk about some kind of personal things today from my side. So, um, if you have questions, type them in, ask me. Even if it's after the live video, please feel free to share your stories with me, share your questions with me, your thoughts with me. So sometimes in this relationship we have with our body, messy humanness can pile on and can have an effect on how we think and how we act and how we treat ourselves and others. And that messy humanness really is limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts, other people's voices that trickle in without you even consciously being aware that they're there and affecting you. Now, I'm going to list off some of the highlight um, highlighted experiences that I had in my youth and in my young adult aged time where we where I experienced other people's negative ideas about what my body should be like or I picked up other people's innocent comments about my body and created negative thoughts that I had to work through. So let me start with those. Um, Now, again, these are just the headliners. We all have hundreds and hundreds of ideas moving through our heads that are not technically ours. And they came from circumstances probably similar to this. So I had a ballet teacher tell me once that I was too big to partner with a boy because they would never be able to lift someone as thick as me over their head. Good times. I was not even a teenager yet at that point. How about having so many mosquito bites on your legs that you feel like you're in on complete fire and you're scratching your legs so much that you are making scabs, and innocently your dad tries to convince you to stop scratching by telling you that you'll never be on stage, you'll never be able to do what you want to do with that many scabs on your legs. Innocent. He was trying to get me to stop scratching, but it stuck with me and it was something that I had to process later. My mom consistently telling me that she was skinnier than me. Now, I still don't even really know if that was her trying to make herself feel better or if she was trying to incite some sort of competition. I'm not a competitive person, so I was like, okay, wow, I to, does that matter? And it was a big thing in our household. Um, my sister giving me her cast off fat pants at a family dinner in front of my boyfriend at the time and declaring that she no longer needed them, but that I did, like a bag of pants. I mean, come on. Um, my brother grabbing my stomach and laughing and calling me chunky and reminding me that I was the only person in the family that wasn't athletic, which PS was not true. There you go. Working for a doctor who prescribed pills for fluffiness, which I took, that messed up my heart. Um, I also worked for a ballet company where I watched people in the company do crazy things to their body so that they could feel worthy of their job and not lose their job. And they tortured themselves to stay a certain size. It was bonkers. So all that was swimming in my mind and affecting my relationship with my body. Now, today I have a very loving relationship with my body. Um I listen to her and she and I are in a very loving, nurturing relationship. And part of the way that I got there was really making conscious choices. And that's why we're going to look at five contradicting ideas or contrasting ideas that really help you when you consciously engage with them, help you create a choice for how you engage with your body, right? So it's going to take this body positivity to a whole new level. So the first one that we're going to talk about is having a habit of criticism versus having a habit of appreciation. So, how often do you criticize your body versus actively appreciate your body? I'm a numbers girl. I like visual things. So I look at it in percentage. How often, what percentage of the time are the thoughts about my body negative versus what percentage of the time are my thoughts about my body of appreciation and positive, right? When you bring your attention to that contrasting idea, you may heighten your awareness of the inner dialogue that's going on in your mind, right? You may realize, oh, wow, I'm kind of bullying up on my body. I'm criticizing it a lot more than I am giving it credit for, right? So you have the ability to stay in an optimistic place about your body, to plug into what it is your body's doing for you, because the reality is, when you criticize your body, you're chipping away at the bond that you have with your body. Now, I'm of the belief that your divinity gave your humanity, your body, so that it can create the life that you're living. And that gift is super powerful. You're bonded with your body. You are not your body. You have a body, but it's a bonded experience. And when you criticize it, you chip away at it. Just as if you were to be in a friendship and you were constantly criticizing your friend, it would chip away and erode that friendship, right? It's the same kind of deal when you're in a relationship with your body. If you're constantly criticizing it, you're eroding that relationship, right? And you have a choice. So, realizing the percentage, realizing a habit of criticism versus a habit of appreciation, just the action is to start to bring your awareness there and create a powerful choice to choose to be optimistic, to choose to be in gratitude, because your body's working for you 24/7. Whether you're good to it or not, it is showing up for you every single moment of every single day, right? So, um, I did a video about optimism and gratitude that I will link into the comments. You can go back through that video and just it's more general, but you can make it specific to your body if you're trying to really work on that relationship with your body. So I'll link that in the comments too. Okay, the second one is view your body as an enemy versus view your body as a tool. Now, this one is a little bit different because I don't think that often people think that their body's a tool. I don't think that often people really see that their body is an enemy. But, there are so many bullying things that we do, the energy behind so many things that we make our body do really feel combative. We force ourselves into situations. We force ourselves to eat certain things or be a certain size or show up in a certain way. And that really is a combative experience. That it's like you and your body are not on the same team, right? So we have a culture that we've been groomed to think that unless our bodies look and act a certain way, that somebody else is saying that they need to look and act like, we are somehow less than. We're somehow less worthy, less capable, less beautiful, less able to be seen and represented. And the reality is all of that external stuff is and can filter in to you if you're not bringing your conscious awareness to it, right? If you use this contradicting idea of enemy versus a tool and you make a choice and you really think about the thoughts that you're thinking that create feeling within your body, you have a choice to look and say, is is this thought that I'm thinking mine? Does it represent the belief that my body is a tool and that I can do amazing things with it? Or is it set from a negative tone where I'm pushing it to do something it doesn't want to do, right? So just bring your awareness to the motivation behind the thoughts and bring your power back to choose the thoughts that feel better, to choose motivation that actually builds the relationship rather than pushes it and bullies it into something that doesn't really serve you, right? Okay, number 3. Feeling of resistance versus feeling of harmony and alignment and peace. I mean, how often do you feel the harmonious, um, aligned, connective, peaceful place with your body versus resistance? Now, I use resistance a lot in the stream kayak principle, which is in the book and the starter kit and the handbook. And I'll link all that in here. And I've got some other videos where I've talked about the river of life and being in resistance to the natural flow. And that resistance, when you start to really take note of what resistance feels like in your life versus what alignment and flow and peace and harmony feel like, that that contrast becomes a really powerful tool. I use it all day, every day, not just in my relationship with my body, but in my relationship with everything. So if you are feeling frustrated, shamed, disgusted, if you're feeling that inner language of negativity, you're not in alignment, right? You're resisting it within your relationship of your body. And you have the choice to create more inner alignment, to make room for more possibility, right? Because in that place of alignment, in that place of peace, in that place of honoring and and harmony within your body, you actually create more room for things to be possible, more room for that healthy relationship to serve you so that you can do the things that you want, so that you can experience the things that you want. So, let's see, here's an example of recently, actually, when I shifted a resistant thought into a harmonious thought, a place of alignment for myself. I was in my closet getting dressed and I thought, I'll put on a pair of jeans. And, you know, we've been in lockdown. I'm not wearing jeans a lot. And I put them on and I could barely button and zip them. And they felt super uncomfortable. And I ended up taking them off and putting on a pair of active wear, which I was not going to be active in, like some yoga pants. And I sat there and I could feel the bullying start. How could you let this happen? How could you get so far off track, off track that your pants don't fit? Like, come on, Alicia. And then I was like, ooh, wait a minute. That's not an aligned thought. That's a resistant thought. Like I could feel that boo, feeling inside me. So I just sat on the floor, put my hand on my chest, and just took a minute and was like, okay, where else have you been feeling like check? Is it just your pants not fitting that you've been feeling out of alignment with your body? I took a breath. I was like, my body has been feeling off since the holidays. There's a lot of things that I can do to bring health back into my body. Is it about the pants? No, it doesn't matter about the pants. It's about listening to my body. Okay. Well, if I'm listening to my body, what else does my body want? And I just sat there and I was like, you know what? My body wants to move. I did not have it in me to go for a walk, but I had it in me to turn on some music and to dance it out because that's what my body wanted to do. It wanted to dance. And I was like, okay. I took my husband's speaker box, put on some amazing 80s music, 70s music, and I danced the entire morning. And I shifted that what could have been an all day downward spiral into a place of fun and optimism and possibility. And I listened to what my body wanted. I got into alignment and I created a lot of joy in a moment that could have been really crappy and could have made a lot of my day really crappy. So, again, bring yourself, when you're looking at that kind of contrast, bring yourself to a place where you're in alignment, where you can make a choice. You have the power to choose what you think, to choose your perspective, and to allow yourself to feel better, right? You're always going to feel better in alignment versus resistance. Always. It's just the way that it works, right? Okay. Next one, number 4. Triggers versus indicators. So, for all of you that don't know what triggers are patterns of thinking that get set into motion by some external factor. It could be an internal factor too. Triggers often have a negative effect on the relationship you have with your body, and the triggers are usually connected to that messy human experience that, when left unchecked, can really start to erode and decay the relationship. If you use a trigger as an indicator, then you stop the pattern and you figure out what the trigger was trying to tell you or show you. If you just let the trigger be the trigger, then the trigger tries to trick you into thinking that there is no other option than the extension of itself, right? Which is really lousy. Because triggers usually end up leading to negative thoughts, negative feelings, and that kind of spiral about your body. But when you use that trigger as an indicator to clean up, to look, to get curious, curiosity is key, then you can figure out what's yours versus what is not yours, right? So I used to have a trigger of putting on a bathing suit. I'd be fine, everything would be great. I'd have to put on a bathing suit and I would get triggered. I would go into a place where I was being judged by my family. I was having, my brother poke and prod at me, my mom telling me that I wasn't skinny enough, like all the things. And I got to a place eventually where I could go, okay, if I put on a bathing suit and all these people are in that bathing suit with me, then that's not okay because this is my experience, right? And I went back through and I cleaned up all those beliefs. Oh, you know what? Doesn't matter. It actually does not matter what my brother thinks about my body. It matters what I think about my body. It does not matter that, I went back through all those things, some of the ones that I listed at the beginning, right? I just went back through and I reclaimed that bathing suit experience. And now I love being in a bathing suit. My body is not perfect and I don't care. I'm there to have fun and enjoy the experience. And it's mine now because I used the trigger to help me get there. I have one of my best friends who has a trigger about health issues. If she has a health issue come up and she has something that could be average going on in her body, it triggers her and sends her into catastrophic thinking about old patterning. And she's gotten to a place now where she can identify the trigger, she can utilize the trigger, and she can go back and figure out which old beliefs, which old thoughts are no longer serving her, which old thoughts are keeping her hostage to her joy, to her relationship with her body. She has way more power in her relationship with her body than she ever did because she's using those triggers to help fortify the relationship she has with her body rather than erode it, right? Rather than keep her linked to all the human messiness, all those limiting thoughts that got handed down to her through her experience, right? So, no matter what kind of trigger you're experiencing, whether it's being triggered by a bag of chips to overeat or having a health scare, there's millions of different triggers. No matter what the trigger is, just notice it and go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to follow you down that line of thinking this time. Instead, I'm going to get curious and I'm going to figure out for myself what you're trying to show me so that I can build up the relationship I have with my body rather than continue to tear it down because of all the old crap I'm carrying, right? So that's triggers versus indicators. Now, the fifth and last one is size and weight versus how you feel in your body. Okay. Now, I don't know who came up with the bathroom scale. It was probably a man who was trying to make money off of the insecurity of women. I don't know. We do not need to weigh ourselves multiple times of the day. It's not necessary. We do not need to monitor ourselves in that way. We need to show up and figure out how we feel to build the relationship, to build a healthy, nurturing relationship. Would you be that criticizing and to a friend? Or would you say, how do you feel? Right? Like, how do you feel? Um, Again, we're so conditioned to look at outside sources to tell us what we're supposed to be thinking and feeling about our body that we often don't listen. We don't have an active experience of asking our body what it needs or feeling what we may need in a moment, right? We've kind of cut off that part of the relationship, that communication that we have with our body. So, when I was in my early 20s, I took diet pills because I worked for a doctor who thought fluffiness needed to be taken care of with pills. And I was happy to engage in it because I wanted to fit the stereotypical norm. I wanted to be skinny and feel good and all that. What a freaking hit and miss. I was so excited to get on the scale every few days in the medical office, do my heart was working 10 times overtime. I was I was going through highs and lows because I was basically taking speed, right? And what a swing and miss. I was not paying attention to how my body felt. I was not paying attention to anything except those external factors. And it got to the point where I had to stop taking them because my heart couldn't take it. What? It's not about size or weight. It is about how you feel in your body, right? You've got to be able to make a choice and say, okay, am I going to engage this way where I'm constantly measuring myself to see if I'm adequate? Or am I going to engage in feeling my way through, showing up and asking my body how it feels, what it needs. How can I serve this relationship today? Right? There's a difference in the energy behind them. And again, everybody is entitled to live their life and build the relationship in whatever way they can. But if you're wanting to make your relationship with your body more healthy, these are 5 places where you can look. You can start to create choice. You can bring conscious awareness in and just pay attention. And if you decide that that's what you want to do, then that's fine. You're making a choice. There aren't things in the background that you're not aware of pushing you or trying to make you feel and do something that you're not in participation with, right? So, learning to actively listen to your body and not the limiting dialogue of the human messiness will always lead you into a healthier relationship with your body, right? So just keep that in mind. So no matter what kind of relationship you are in with your body, there's always room for it to continue to get healthier. And so just step in and start to look for those 5 places, right? Habits of criticism versus habits of appreciation. Whether you're looking at your body as an enemy or a tool, whether you're feeling resistance or you're feeling in alignment, whether you're having triggers or you're using those triggers as indicators, whether you're focused on size and weight versus how you feel, right? Okay, now, do we have any questions about any of this kind of stuff that's going on? Um, okay, what do I usually eat? Well, um, food you're right, food is a healthy question to ask about. I I've gone through a lot of different cycles. I did the raw food thing for a while. It didn't really work for me. I am pretty much a vegan at this point. I eat seafood every once in a while. But the thing that really helped me was understanding what inflamed my body. Again, that is about listening to your relationship with your body, listening to what it likes, what it needs. I don't do a lot of sugar. I don't do gluten or corn or gluten or dairy because I know those things inflame me. And if I am doing really well and then I go and experience some of those things, which is great because, I'm all about having a balance, being able to feel your way through. Sometimes I just want a cheeseburger, like a cheese veggie burger. And I know that it's probably not going to serve me very well. But I'm not going to eat it with lettuce because that's just not fun. So I'll eat it with a gluten bun with like vegan cheese on it, and I'll notice it the next day. And so I don't do those things often. I try to stay in a place with the things that I know help my body feel better, right? Okay. Um so what do you do when you know you should do things that make your body feel good but you don't? Okay. Um I would look at the word should, because should feels resistant, right? Um, I don't know what you're shoulding about. Is it like going out and walking, eating healthier? I'm not sure. But if you look at the word should, you're in resistance to it. So just think about it, get curious, and kind of walk yourself through the process. Okay, why don't I want to do those things? Is there something else I could do instead that would feel better? Is there something that I could do to bridge that gap to help me get to the place where I want to do those things more? Celery juice really helps my system, and I had been off of it for a while, and I knew that I really should do it again, but I was having a hard time getting started. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, I just started drinking green juice and with like lemonade in it, just so I could get back into it. And then I tapered myself off the lemonade, and now I'm doing it, and it's great. I was like, oh, interesting. So I don't do lemonade because I have sugar in it, but I started with green juice with orange juice in it. And it was so good. And I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing. Every time I took a sip, I was like, oh. And being able to be in that place for a few days allowed me to go, oh, okay, you know what? Celery juice actually seems like a very logical next step, of course. So if you're wanting to get out and walk and you know you should, but you're not, maybe try sweetening the deal a little bit so that it doesn't feel shitty, that it feels a little bit more enthusiastic, like listening, finding a new podcast, or going on the walk with a friend, or going on a walk while you and a friend are talking, or something that sweetens the pot until you get back into a place where it feels natural, right? Just everything about this episode really is about getting you to realize you have an active choice. And if you have that resistance, it's okay. Just utilize it. Let it help you figure out how to make the situation better for yourself, right? Okay. What if you think you have a problem with an eating disorder? Okay. Um, then I would say maybe the best thing that you can do is figure out a way for yourself to go and get some help. One of the great tools is going to therapy, whether it's online or in somebody's office. Um, I have lots of friends who have gone through eating disorders, friends and family who have dealt with eating disorders. And the self help stuff is huge. Like, jump into as much as you can, but realize that that relationship that you have with your body is a sacred place for you to continue to learn and grow. And if you need that outside help and that outside source to help you get back into that alignment because you can't do it on your own, go and get the help that you need. That's the best tool that you can have, is having a team of people help you build that relationship back up, right? Okay. All right. I think that's it, guys. I am so happy to be here with you today. And my hope is that however you see your relationship with your body, my hope is that after watching this, it continuously gets better, that the relationship gets richer and feels um, more at home within yourself, that you feel more at home within yourself, and that there's more joy and enthusiasm and possibility that you're co-creating with your body. Again, I will link all those images, I'm sorry, not images, all those videos into the comments or the description of this video. Go over to awakeningtoyourstory.com to read through the blog and get any other tools that you might need over there. Subscribe to the station. Tell me what you think, what you're going through. I love replying to your comments, so keep them coming. And until next week, know that I am holding a place of love for you, where your relationship with your body, well, it's filled with love and wonder and possibility. Okay, until next week, I am sending you so much love. Bye.